Hello and welcome to St Mary's Churchyard. No need for explanation why I'm standing by the War Memorial. Yesterday was Armistice Day, and the Year 6 from school came down to do their little act of remembrance they do now every year. I'm pleased to say that a number of other people joined them, which is good. And I was at Fearing Cemetery taking an act of remembrance there with the school. And you can see in the background the beautiful cascade of poppies that we've had since the centenary commemorations of the Great War in 2018. And as I was speaking just of Fearing, if you go to Fearing Cemetery on the Coggeshall Road, you'll see two silhouetted metal figures either side of the gates. And the one on the left is the Tommy that we now recognise holding his rifle, his head slightly bent, as if on sentinel. On the other side is a woman in a uniform of some kind. She might be auxiliary, she might be Wren or RAF. It's a reminder that many non-combatants and women were involved in the world conflicts of the last century, and are certainly much more involved now. And if you know your history, you'll know that up until the Great War, women did not have the vote, and immediately the war came to the end in 1918, women aged 30 and over gained the vote because of all the work that they did in the munitions factories and other things that made people realise their worth. And so what we see is how war since the First World War has been total war and has affected all people and all kinds. And we know this even more now. The large numbers of refugees who are coming to Europe are there largely because of conflict and oppression. And even child soldiers are being used now, appalling though that may seem in many conflicts. And war is now changing. While we commemorate at this time those traditional conflicts, and we think of the trenches, the war is now a cyber war online. You can say sometimes social media can feel like a war. And there is the war of terrorism too, and the rise of extremism in all its forms, not least the far right in the last few years. We are all involved and we can all be infected. Interesting, I said infected when I meant affected, but infected is right, because that conflict is part of human nature. It's part of what we would call in the church human sin. And there are other conflicts going on at the moment. With COVID, as the saying goes, the first casualty of war is the truth, and the COVID deniers and the anti-vaxxers are still very noisy. And today is the last day of COP26, and we see there humanity's war with itself, its conflict with itself, as we seek to stop the worst of climate change. We need to be peacemakers, as Jesus said we should be. Blessed are the peacemakers. No easier now than it was when Jesus said it, but that is our task, that is our duty, that is our calling, whatever we believe. Amen.